Are you serious?
And find something.
Every night they're going out to dinner?
Neither one of them probably know how to cook.
That was
They're
one of
both-
the things. Like
They're both 21.
That was one of the things my mom insisted on, is that we learned how to cook.
He knows how to cook.
My
just
mom
fucking-
didn't play around about teaching me to cook. Hell,
No,
first thing I cooked was goddamn scrambled eggs and cheese. I was like 5 years old.
Hey, that's good deal, right? That's good food.
I just think they're young. They're on their own. They don't have kids to worry about.
Right.
And maybe they don't know how to cook. I know Peyton, my son, fucking sat there and watched me cook, but whether he took in what I was putting down.
Right.
I mean, that's...
You're not 100% sure if he got the assignment.
You know, and that's what kills me.
Because I could have him do the dishes and they'd fucking do the dishes and put them in the dishwasher. Fucking go to pull them out of the dishwasher. They still got food caked on them. Dude, you got to rinse the dishes off. So do it again.
Yeah, now it's baked on because of the fucking dishwasher. So now you got to scrub them motherfuckers.
Right.
Everyone that's tuning in, this is Amigos After Dark. Good evening. I'm TJ with Rhino and Smalls. Rhino's only going to be here for a little bit longer. Everyone that's still on the Southern Fried Radio, I hope you're enjoying listening to us and our banter before we started tonight. And we're kind of, well, as you can tell, we're on the subject of kids when they get older and what they are missing today.
Oh, my.
How's it going, Volt? That's just it. You know, like my folks insisted that there were certain things I needed to know how to do. I had to know how to work on my own car because, you know, when I was a teenager, I mean, for crying out loud, I was Leadfoot Larry, just flying through whatever dirt back road I could and tearing up my cars. I had to know how to fix them.
Those back roads will tear up a fucking car fucking
quicker.
It could be a brand new fucking car, and all you do is take the back roads, and you're gonna tear that car up
every single time.
I've told Reba, I said, look, we don't take the back roads. What do you mean? Sometimes it's faster, but it tears up your vehicle. Potholes fucking tear it up. Fucking, you know, the tractor's been on them motherfuckers.
It's just even beyond that, it's just hard on tires.
Well, it's not just tires,
and
it's your
shocks,
suspension. It's your, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, you think about it. You got a washboarded out road that's beating up your stabilizer links, your ball joints, your tie rod ends. I mean, it's tearing everything.
Yeah.
It's just
and
bad.
I used to love going down Washboard Hill because there's one right outside of Nillwood and in between Nillwood and Girard on old Route 66, and it's not a steep hill, but it's a hill. And if you went down it, it was all right. But if you go up it, the best way to do is get off the side of the road a little bit so it's not so
it didn't beat the hell out of you.
Right, because going up the hill fucking beat the shit out of you.
I think I only had one vehicle that never got tore up on the back roads. Smalls is going to love this because still to this day, one of my favorite trucks I've ever had. It's second only to one other one, which I'll say in a minute. But that was my 1970 F350.
Oh, wow. Well,
I mean,
that's a nice truck to have.
That big bruiser. I still own the steering wheel. That big bruiser bastard with its 390. I mean, it never got tore up on the back roads. Never. Now, I felt every bump, every rock, every dip, but it didn't get beat up. I got beat up. Now, probably my favorite truck I've had was my 77 C20. My 77 Chevy C20. I loved that truck. I had a ball with it. Well, no, you know what? I take it back. No, I think my favorite truck that I've had is actually, I got to change that. It's going to be my 99 Suburban. I love that Suburban. I had so much fun with that Suburban. 454, 3/4 ton, 4-wheel drive. I mean,
Big old sagging wagon.
This thing was the beast tank from hell, you know?
I think
That's
my favorite was my 1977 Ford F-150 short bed step side with a 460 big block in it. Fucking granny low.
Oh, God.
4-wheel drive with fucking 38s on it. Dude, that thing would move. I took it out to the fucking mud hole one time, and that's all it took.
That killed it.
I couldn't get it out. It caught on fire.
Only
thing we could do is jump out the truck and run. Because we knew it was going to explode.
I think there's a song for that. Hang on, I might be able to find
it
here.
My Ford caught on fire.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure there's a song for that. Let's see.
Yeah,
here it is.
I had 2 4-wheel drive vehicles, I think, in my life, and both were Fords. One was an 80 Ford Bronco, and the other one was
that. Dead in the water.
That was it. It caught fire.
Dead in the mud. And imagine having to walk from Scottsville to fucking Palmyra.
Oh shit!
I don't want to imagine walking that far.
In 28 to 30 degree weather. Middle of February.
Nope, fuck that.
The guy and his wife that went with me, he's like, you guys fucking keep walking. I'm gonna run, and I'm gonna go get some help.
I'm gonna run, he says.
Yeah, I got tired of walking. We got to sit for a second because we just kept walking. I'm like, man, I'm surprised that house down there. I was gonna go to the house, but
was there something about like you had a feeling of deliverance when you looked at that house? Yeah, I probably shouldn't go there.
Yeah, because I probably shouldn't have been in that fucking yard or field or whatever I was at.
Yeah, so, I would kind of avoid it at that point. Yeah.
So I just left it, let it burn, and few days later, I had a tow truck go out and get it, and it was burnt to the ground. Interior.
I'm surprised you didn't get a
burnt.
I am very surprised you did not get a visit from local law enforcement over that.
I know. I really am too. Because I mean, they could have got me with trespassing, destruction of property.
Yeah.
Leaving the scene of an accident.
Yeah. So you're racking up a couple of pretty big charges there. Was there any type of an illegal substance in that vehicle at the time?
In our pockets, probably.
In pocket for sure.
Yeah. And any in the floorboards, ashtray, maybe a beaner rolling around or two.
I had 4 rolls of quarters in the glove box, and I went to go look for them when it fucking got delivered to me.
Yeah, they were gone.
They were melted or whatever.
Wait, that's destruction of government property.
There goes another one. Yeah,
that one could almost be a felony. You know, the quarters melting.
Oh man, that was a trip.
Glad I have always had good luck with Fords.
Oh, dude, I had
it was a fast motherfucker, dude. It would get it. I left the second road, Fairway Drive, and got to the fucking railroad trestle, and I was already doing 130 mile an hour.
I mean, I've
in
had
that
good
big
and bad
4-wheel
luck.
drive truck. I'm like, holy fuck. Because it
I've
was
had,
granny low, second, third, fourth.
right.
And it would move. It would move. It was loud. Ooh. I miss it because that would have been like that was what I planned on fixing that truck up. It had the 460 big block in it, dude.
Yeah, it'd have been nice to keep a hold of.
Yeah, it would have
My
been fun to have
God,
now.
man. You know how much updates that could have been done to that truck, like interior wise and
Oh yeah.
paint job and custom stuff done. Oh my God, that truck would have been worth some money. Not me. I burnt the motherfucker down.
Could have been worse. So I at one point in time I had an 86 Chevy Caprice class, old retired cop car actually. And I pulled this thing in at work when I was working for Mitsubishi while I was green to gold. Pull it in, I park, I go inside, I'm getting all my paperwork ready for the day. I was supervisor by that point. And one of the guys comes in and goes, "Hey boss, I think you need to go out to the parking lot and look at your car." So, what for? He goes, "Well, I think your car is smoking more than you do." Oh, bullshit. I just walked away from the thing. So I walk out there. Oh, no. It's smoldering in the parking lot. A cloud of smoke is blocking like the whole security building that we had. I go lift the hood like an idiot, burn off my eyebrows, That thing was done.
My buddy had I want to say, I don't know, one of those box style fucking Monte Carlos.
Oh, the old G body.
Yeah.
And the old 80s.
Yeah.
Late 70s, early 80s.
Yeah, that. And had a 350 small block in it. And fucking, he turned it over and fired it up. And all of a sudden, fucking flames started shooting out the fucking carburetor. We had a full fucking can. We were all drinking, staring around it, looking at it, watching, fucking he opens his fucking beer and just dumps it straight down the fucking carburetor.
That was it for that one.
No, yep. He pumped it 3 times, fired it right back up. Brrr. Like, oh my God.
Did it catch fire again?
Nope. It was good right then. All right, guys, I've got to go. I'm going to holler at y'all later.
All right, man.
All right. Peace out, man.
Enjoy your show, guys.
Oh, I appreciate that. We have somebody here got a Discord name. You Damn James 60. Hello, mate. Love your streaming. Would like to be a fan and a friend. Absolutely. You're more than welcome. Thank you for tuning in on Twitch. We hope you're enjoying it. I gotta tell you, when you get done rebuilding an engine, you put it into the bay of something. I learned this from my dad because we rebuilt an engine and we put it into a Studebaker pickup. Okay. And he goes, "Here, hold this," and hands me a fucking fire extinguisher. I'm like, "We just built this motor." He goes, "I know. Stand there, hold on to this." Okay. He goes, "If I tell you, hose it down. Only if I tell you." Okay. So I'm standing there. I'm at the ready, right? Pins pulled, hanging on to this fire extinguisher. He gets in there, pumps it 4 times, hits the key. It belches flame right out. I mean, you're talking 2.5 feet of flame comes flying out of that carburetor, right? Blech. Holy shit. It stalls. My uncle is standing there with a fire blanket. He throws a fire blanket on it. Okay, cool. Pulls it off, pumps it 4 times again, hits it again, belches that flame back out again, right? Only this time it stopped itself and it started purring. Dad goes, "Put the pen back in." Okay. He's like, every engine, if it's built right, is going to burp flames at least 2 or 3 times before it settles itself out.
Well, back in those days, anyways.
Yeah, well, I mean, that's, you're talking carbureted motor, right?
Right.
Now, fuel injected, if it burps flame, you have a problem.
Oh, they'll still burp flame out the exhaust.
Yeah, but you don't want it coming back out of the throttle body.
No. They don't even have throttle bodies anymore with
I know.
direct port injection.
Yeah, direct port just took care of that. But no, it's just crazy what you've seen. And kids these days, they're not getting that. They don't get to ride in the bed of a truck down a dirt road hanging on for dear life with your dad's drunk in the driver's seat doing 70 going, I got this, don't I?
That reminds me one time we were heading on a camping trip. When we lived in Arizona, we went camping every weekend,
right,
and took a 2-week long trip in the summer. But anyways, we were heading out on one of these camping trips, and I'm leaning against the tailgate in the corner of the tailgate in the bed of the truck. The fucking tailgate popped open on me, and we're on a highway. Oh, luckily, it was an old 71 F-150. So in between the tailgate and the bed of the truck was a nice gap.
Right.
So I was able to grab hold, but boy, I was screaming my full head off and nobody was hearing me. I'm like 8 years old, maybe.
Because you're going down the road.
Yeah. Big old 390 in it.
Yeah. Oh, believe me, I know what that 390 sounds like. You're up in third gear with that thing. It's 70 miles. They don't like 70 mile an hour when they're geared low.
Not at all.
No. My old F-350, it was happy around 65. With that 411 rear end and that 390, it was happy around 65. I started pushing above that. It was not happy anymore.
I bet not.
As what's even worse is the Suburban has twin 411s in it, but it's also got the 4L80E transmission, so it's got the overdrive and what it needs to actually hit those higher speeds. And one of my favorite memories with that Suburban, my cousin bought a 78 F100 Custom. 300 straight 6, 3-speed granny on the floor. Or no, it was 3 on the tree. I take it back. It was a 3 on the tree. And he's like, well, hey, could you push this thing home for me? Sure, I could push it home for you. We get it out into the main road, and I'm pushing this thing down the road, right? Bump, bump, bump. And start rolling and stop, start rolling and stop, start rolling and stop. I'm like, just push the fucking clutch in already. So we get it to his place, and I pull the thing in, right? Steve, you're always welcome. Hell, I'll send you a link right now, and I fully accept your apology, and I thank you for it. You're always welcome. I will never, ever turn my back on that. But so I'm pushing him down the road, right? And we finally get to his place. I shove the thing in with the Suburban. I shove the damn thing into his yard. And I back up. I roll my window down. I'm like, why didn't you push in your fucking clutch? He goes, I did. It just slapped the floor. I said, well, why didn't you put it in neutral? He goes, I couldn't. The shifter fell out. I was like, why didn't you crack the column and work with the shift pins? And he goes, I did. It's locked it in reverse. So my Suburban shoves this truck literally 4 miles down the road and into his driveway in reverse. And I'm like, we got to tear this thing apart. He goes, I don't think we can. We probably just nuked the transmission.
You sure did.
Oh my God. I was
Oh,
rolling.
man.
So we get done. And, at that point, I was living in Goofy Ridge. My cousin was here. 2 doors up was my place. In the middle was another property that my cousin owned. So we literally had that whole side of the block to ourselves. So I walk up to my place. I get my bow. I get a beer. Then I think about it, and I grab 3 more beers. So I had 4. And I walked back down to my cousin's place where, see, I was smart about it because we hung out so much. I kept a stash of beer at his place, too. And I kept a stash of whiskey at his place. But I never knew when he was going to drink all of it. And in return, he kept a stash of beer and a stash of whatever else he wanted at my place. He also kept a stash of weed at my place, which my daughter found one night.
Oh, man.
And I'm like, what are you doing in that? She, well, I wanted to get high. That is Bill's.
That's not mine.
No. I'm like, no, stop. That is my cousin's. That is not mine to give out. I'll get him more. I was like, you'll get him ditchweed. I know what he smokes. God, he's been buying the good shit since we were teenagers. I watched him break out stuff that made adults cry when we were teenagers. Yeah, Steve, all you got to do, and Steve says here, I'm going to go ahead and highlight it. He says, I'd like to apologize to TJ and all the Mayhem listeners. I needed a break. I was starting to feel burnout on the podcast. I would hope in the future I'll be able to join Mayhem in the future. And Steve, you've got a permanent spot here. You say the word when you're ready. I'll send you a link, and you are more than welcome. Hell, here, I'll do it right now.
I was going to say.
Yeah, I love having Steve on, man. I really do. He's a highlight to my day.
I need to adjust that cam.
He's really a highlight to my day, both, when I'm listening to SFR or when he's on here with us, or it does, always, all the time. I get such a kick out of him. There you go. I'll send it to you, bud. And I would never take away from that. I wouldn't be broadcasting on Southern Fried Radio if it wasn't for Steve. I really wouldn't. He made the introductions and made that happen.
Right.
And I enjoy doing it. I kind of took a little bit of a different tack. I saw your comment like, man, you're playing good music, but so's my professor. What the fuck?
Yeah, I'm like, well, fuck. Who do I listen to now?
And I wasn't, I don't know what, maybe it was my placement exams today, but I really was not talkative tonight. And I actually did I'm really proud of how I did. You got to remember that most of this core material that I had to take the exams on today, I haven't looked at it in 30 fucking years. I was 7 points away on mathematics from being able to go straight into the college level courses, not the remedial, but right there, know? And I'm like, and the guy, my admissions rep, he's like, well, you could always go back and test it out and then come back and take it again. And I go, look, I'm starting at the community college level for a reason. And it's a case of shit like this. I would rather take the class and get myself back up to speed through the class than to try to force it. Because if I try to force it, then I go into a college level algebra or a college level calculus, and I'm not ready for it. then I'm going to fuck it up, and that's going to fuck up my GPA.
Right.
If I take the remedial course now and I do well with the remedial course, get myself back up to speed, next semester when I take the college level courses, then I'm going to be more prepared to do it, you know? And again, I'm looking at this like I missed that college level by 7 points. They said I scored a 941, and he said I needed a 948 or better to immediately go into college level. I'm like, I'm not complaining about that.
No.
With not looking at it 30 years. And it's, they said I've got the basics. Quantitative reasoning, algebraic reasoning, geometric and spatial reasoning, or I've got all the basics there. Okay. Probabilistic and statistical reasoning, I'm proficient. I'm advanced on that. So when I looked at that, I'm like, all right, so basically the knowledge I need to pass the courses, I need the remedial catch up is basically what this is saying. And he says, yeah. I said, I think I did not prepare for this test. I think that's fair. I was nervous as shit about it. I did not drink last night because of it. And I went in there and I did now, English language arts reading, 954. I was over what they were looking for.
See, that's the stuff I would have been like, bleh, and I would have been all right with fucking math.
All right, so the English side of the English and language arts and reading and all of that, their recommendation is for me to go and take what they call CLEP exams and test out as much as I can to advance me further into the college level and get my credits.
Right.
And again, I'm like, okay, that's great. And I know this says I should do that. I said, but I'm going to come back to this again. I have not looked at this in 30 years. I was like, you're talking 27 to 30 years since I've looked at any of this. I graduated in 1998. No, I think I should probably get myself up to speed. Take the classes, get the core requirements like I should. Now, the rider placer, or right placer, that had a possible 7 points total. Easy to fuck it up, right?
Yeah.
I got a 7 out of 7.
Sweet.
Luckily,
I didn't have to take a placements exam. I just had to show them my transcripts from my associates.
Yeah.
They're like, oh, okay, well, this is the program you should be in. I'm like, oh, okay.
Well, here's the thing is like my bachelor's is in broadcasting. So I'm literally, with going into psychology, I'm literally walking into a completely different field of study. And I'm doing this and I'm going, you know what? No, if I've got to start from ground zero, let's start from ground zero and do it right. Because there were certain things that I did not get the highest score on when I got my bachelor's, and it was because I did a lot of my core requirements as correspondence courses while I was overseas. Remember the old correspondence courses where you had to write out the whole book and then send the motherfucker back?
Right.
Yeah, those. So I'm like, all right. I know I can write. I can get my points across. They read my essay. It had to be a 300 to 600 word essay. And it said I could show clear purpose and consistent focus. I demonstrate strong organization of ideas. My response is logically developed and well supported. My response shows skillful control of sentence structure and style. Response shows strong control of mechanical conventions such as grammar, spelling, and punctuation. And my response shows clear and reasoned analysis of the issue. I blew that out of the water. passed it with flying colors, blew it out of the water. It helped that they gave me a subject that I have been arguing with my kid for months. Question for the essay. What is the importance of history in today's society, and how can the lack of teaching history affect our societal outcome? And I went on it and I'm like, oh, you just gave me this. How could I get a more gravy train way to write an essay? I punched out 600 words in 12 minutes and built that essay.
Yeah, that's shit I couldn't do.
No, I take it back. It wasn't 12 minutes because I went back and checked my grammar and stuff. I started it at 11:34 a.m. I finished it at 12:05. 21 minutes and 36 seconds. Like I said, 600 words. Bang, done. The sociology professor read that, comes out while I'm talking to my admissions rep, looks at me and goes, "May I use your essay as part of my curriculum?" I said, "Yeah, why not? I don't see a problem with that." She goes, "I would love to debate with you sometime." I said, "That's great because I'm probably going to be in your course next semester. Be ready, because if I disagree with you, we will argue." And she goes, "Do you have anybody that could attest to that?" I said, "I have a friend in Illinois. His name is Steve. And he will tell you that if I think I'm right, I will argue with you." I will give you his messenger account so you can contact him. She's like, no, that's okay. And I looked and I said, "What? I should give you his messenger account anyway to contact him." She's pretty fucking hot. I mean, I had to give her a second look as she walked out. I'm like, damn!
I had to check the backside too,
Oh yeah, the front side looked great. The backside, wow. That definitely did not look like it was done by Picasso. There was no abstracts in that backside. So yeah, the whole thing, the history debate, I loved it. And everybody knows that I'm a very middle of the road individual when it comes to politics. My views kind of lean more towards libertarian, to be honest. Which is fix the economy, take care of our border, build our military up to a reasonable level, and then stay the fuck out of everybody's way. Okay?
Pretty much.
And I know you're a little more right-leaning than I am. So this is where I started to have fun with it. It's like, history is important because if we forget our history, I don't care which side you're on, if we forget our history, we're doomed to repeat it. And I really wish I could remember who made that quote.
We could find out.
No, please do. But if we forget our history, we are absolutely doomed to repeat it. And I gave 2 examples. When I got into the political argument of it, okay? You have the right quintessentially working on completely erasing the civil rights movement of the 60s. And really doing a fantastic job of it. But you have the left trying to erase one of the most damaging pieces of history we have in our history of the Civil War.
All right. So, if we forget our history, we are doomed to repeat it is a modernized and shortened version of a quote by philosopher George Santayana.
Okay.
His original longer aphorism appeared in his 1905 book, The Life of Reason. The exact phrasing of his was, "Those who cannot remember the past are condemned to repeat it."
Yeah, modernized and short. You're right. But it's quintessentially the same thing.
Right.
It is quintessentially the exact same thing. So, my examples were, yes, the left leans so hard on the civil rights movement. They're all about it. Civil rights, civil rights, civil rights. When you've got the liberals in office, you have civil rights getting rammed down your throat with your fucking Wheaties. Now, do I think that the civil rights movement was unimportant? Absolutely not. I think it was something that needed to happen.
Yes. There's with the whole civil rights thing and what was the act after Martin Luther King, that affirmative action?
Yes.
It just really, really needed to be reworded. Those that are further right leaning, they feel that it needed to be there, but instead of being so generalized, because now even the transgender community can use the Civil Rights Act and affirmative action in the same way that it was meant for the racial minorities.
And I'm going to grab my beer. So continue on that thought for a second.
Really, we strongly believe in the civil rights. We just want it to be more.
Your essays do.
We're gonna be doing a review here in like this very second. You'll hear my instructor.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, it's not that those that lean right are against the civil rights movement and the Civil Rights Act. We want it reworded.
And that's, I'm going to say, when you're kind of moderate right leaning, I hear that more. A great example would be Mitt Romney. Mitt Romney was one. He's like, we need to revise it a little bit.
Yes.
When you get to, and this is where we're really polarized right now, you don't hear that anymore in the news. You hear far right. Trump, and Trump is far right. I don't care what anybody says. He's far right. Everybody's favorite one, Marjorie Taylor Greene. The woman who tries to convince you that there's Jewish space lasers in the sky that are going to kill you. God. But the far right is like, no, get rid of it. And I hear more of that and I read more of that than that we need to revise it. And then when you get into talking about revising it, now you've got the far left going, well, we need to include everybody. Well, how do you include everybody when this all started because everybody was not included and it had to be done? You can't. The transgender issue, you brought that up. Okay. I obviously travel a lot more. And I'm a little more open-minded than most. And I will tell you right up front and straight to your face, I have some very close friends of mine that are transgender. I'll tell you what, I'll make it even better for you. There's a couple of them that I know that I met in San Antonio that are now living in Philadelphia. Oh, Hippers would love that, wouldn't he?
Right. So,
they're educated, they're employed, all they want to do is exist and be left the fuck alone.
It's not them that bother me. It's the ones that are out parading in the streets and transvestite or transgender story hour in elementary school.
Oh, okay. So you're talking more like the drag stuff.
Yes.
That we've seen. And, like if you, think back to the movie The Birdcage. I know it was not one of Robin Williams' best fucking roles, but think back to The Birdcage. Literally, a drag show was what a burlesque show was back then.
Right, but they were shows.
But it was a show for adults.
Right.
Okay.
Exactly. Again, I'm on that side that I don't care what you're doing in your personal time. I don't care if a dress is the way you want to go. You want to mutilate your body and try to become a woman. That's on you. That's your thing. It's when you expect me to have to partake in the delusion of you're something that you're not, that it starts to become a problem with me.
Okay. Now, I'm going to expand on this a little bit because part of my, believe it or not, part of my psychology classes that I was taking when I was pre-law at New Mexico State was actually along the lines of this subject. Because I started back before my son was born and I was pre-law and I had to take, psych as part of that, right?
Right.
And this was just part of the required reading. Now, first of all, and I found it, maybe this is part of what's getting me into general psychology because I found it interesting. And I'm like, yeah, this seems weird. So I started reading to confirm, to understand better. And it really got me into a big study on it. One, and this is a common misconception. When someone is transgender, trans means to change, transition, okay?
Right.
All right. So when someone is transgender, and I think it may be a misnomer, but I don't know what to use in a different light. It's not just the identification. And later studies, because I've stayed on top of this, especially since it heated up and became a big political issue, and I've got friends that are involved in this. There's about 4 or 5 studies that are out there that have proven that the brain activity of a trans individual closer matches the identity that they want to go to compared to what they were born. So automatically, the brain is your roadmap to who you are.
Right.
And the brain is like, all right, so if it's guy to girl, that individual, that brain is matching a girl's brain more than it is a guy's. Not only in activity, but in gray matter and structure. They've done a lot of mapping on this in the last 10 years. So you ought to, and then number 2, for at least prior to when everything was changed under President Obama, there was an extensive psychological evaluation that had to occur before an individual could be declared, yes, you are transgender, and start the medical side of it. It was one of those like, look, as medical professionals, we are not going to let you go do this to yourself unless we know for a fact this is what needs to happen to make you mentally healthy.
Right.
Okay. Now, President Obama changed that in, I believe it was 2014, when he made the medications open, just walk in like, oh, yeah, I'm oh, here you go. Here's some drugs.
Yeah.
Now, President Trump dialed that back in his first term. President Biden put it into hyperdrive. Then we have President Trump come in and again, not only dial it back, but the rubber stamp that he dialed it back with this time is counterproductive to medical advice. And I'll tell you right now that one of the people that's in Pennsylvania that is a very good friend of mine, I knew before she was a she. And I'll tell you the difference between the individual, between no meds and full transition, is night and day.
So here's my question, though, and what us on the right are questioning is: should it be the taxpayer and the general public's responsibility to pay for these?
Traditionally, it was not. But I think if it is deemed, and now this is me talking in the field of study I'm getting ready to go into, which we know I'm going into psychology. If it is deemed medically or mentally necessary for the preservation of life, and finances is the only thing stopping that, then in my opinion, yes, it should be available. There should be an alternative available, even if it's a payback option. There should be something available.
See, and that's where I would differ.
Okay.
Me personally, you can't need to diagnose the mental separation between why this person feels this way and why they are going this direction. I would be more willing to foot the bill for their mental evaluation and their mental health.
Okay.
But the bottom line is you were born a man, you're a man, and you always will be, no matter how much surgery you go through, no matter how many hormones you take. When they dig your body up in 100 years, they're going to look and be like, oh, this is a man.
Okay, so I pose,
this is a woman.
All right, so I pose to you this question. You're basically going off of chromosomal evidence, correct?
Correct.
Okay, so what do you do when you've got XXY? Or you've got XYY?
Okay,
or
let's look up some statistics on that.
On the intersex? I mean, it does happen. It's
no, I'm not. I know it happens.
I mean, here's another one that's extremely rare. And you wouldn't even realize this unless something happened. But what if it's someone who's born with the XY chromosome, but they're immune to testosterone, so they develop like a female?
I still, when it comes to optional surgeries, I don't think the public should have to foot the bill. For anyone, for any reason. I'm not just right
No,
down to brass tacks of it. I'm not singling out those that are trying to transition. I'm in general, any kind of elective surgery should never fall on the taxpayer.
and I could see your point to that, and I'll recognize your point to that, to this statement. With the research that's going on right now, not only at Cambridge University in England, but it's also going on at Harvard. It's also going on at MIT. It's also going on at University of California. And I believe they've got a study going on at University of Texas right now. And it's all along neurobiology. And what they are studying and coming up with, now they need bigger test groups. But now, because of the stigmatism that is against transgender individuals in this country, they're afraid to be a part of these test groups and bring these testings to their logical conclusion. But the initial evidence is not circumstantial. It's a fuck up. It's a biological fuck up is what it is. But and the way I see that is that these individuals are being condemned to live in a situation that is uncontrollable for them. And it's, again, I'm going back on what I have read on the different brain structures and how it's worked and what they've discovered. And those discoveries have been in recent years.
Right.
So we have established neurobiological evidence that says this is not their fault.
I'd never hold anyone to fault at anything.
And
I just hope,
and I'll tell you
for
something
their
else.
sake, they find their peace.
Well, I'll tell you something else, and I'll throw this at you. The transgender individuals that I know, each and every one of them have told me very pointedly to my face, no questions asked, if there was any other way for them to live a happy life and not have to do this, they would have taken that route. The one had been in mental health services for 15 years, trying to get away from this was the option. And then finally just bit the bullet and said, you know what, let's try it. And it was either that or, and what that individual told me, it was either that or go home and eat a bullet.
Yeah, it's not that clean cut with it. I feel it definitely needs more studying.
Well, and I'm now, and here's where I'm going to see your point with where you're at with this.
10 years ago, we called this gender dysphoria.
It still is called gender dysphoria.
It was classified as a mental illness.
But now the research is expanded. So it's still classified in kind of the same way that bipolar disorder is classified. Does that make sense?
Right.
So bipolar disorder is a medical problem, but it's also a mental health issue. And now the gender dysphoria is kind of moving more into that category. Now, this is where I'm going to see your point with that side of it. Like, I know people who they have tried every option. This is what they got to do to be happy.
Yeah, and
I'm not going to deny somebody their happiness, but I also know people who saw that when it became the big to-do thing. Oh, I am too. Fuck you, motherfucker. And those are the ones that are giving the bad name.
Yes.
And I truly believe that is where the stigmatism comes from for that transgender issue. Is the people that jumped on the fucking bandwagon, like some people became Kansas City Chiefs fans. Not Rhino, obviously he's been a KC fan for a while. But people saw it, they thought it was cool, they jump on the bandwagon. They're out there, they're trying to ram it down everybody's throat. And that gave that part of our population a very, very raw deal to deal with. The ones that are friends of mine, if you had to interact with them on a daily, like one of them I used to teach with her at Southern New Mexico, or at Southern Careers Institute. She was a CDL instructor with me.
Right. So I don't know any transgender.
Okay.
Personally. So.
Oh, I thought it was funny when the boss came out, looks at her and goes, you know what? You're going to start teaching this way, and that's how it is. And she turned around without a beat, and she goes, you know what? You could suck my non-existent fucking dick.
There are 2 people in my family that are in the LGBTQ community.
Right.
And they're on the same page as I am. You know, the whole pursuit of life, liberty, and happiness is for every citizen of the United States. Period.
Right.
I don't care how you identify and all that. It's just, you can't expect everybody to partake in what is a mental illness. And when I say everybody, I mean general public. You can't walk out into public and expect some stranger on the street to immediately identify you expect misgendering, in other words. If this is how you are, okay, but you've got to expect to be misgendered. It's gonna happen.
And and the friends of mine they deal with it every day, and they're like, you know what? That's part of it.
Right, exactly.
Now they'll turn around and they'll politely look up and say, thank you, but I am this. You know what I mean?
Right.
Now, if it continues, then it's like, hey, you fucking asshole.
Right.
Because then it stops being okay, I fucked up. All right, I'll try to correct that. And it starts turning into just being blatant disrespect.
Yes with maybe, no with a but. Rebuttal on that is, again, this is a mental illness. This is a delusion. This is not fact. You are not a female. You are a male. And you can't expect other people to partake in that. Let me try to play it out for you. You've got a nephew that says he's a cat. He's an 8-year-old kid.
Okay, you're going to live in the barn.
Right.
You're going to eat mice. You're a cat. Go on out to the barn. I mean, that's how I am.
And that's what I'm getting at. And they're going to clearly revert back or realize that you're not going to partake in that delusion. You're not required to partake in that delusion. Lying to them and stroking that delusion only makes it worse.
But it's not helping the situation. And look, now don't get me, here's the part that boggles my mind. When I think of transgender, I still think along the binary. It's male or female. You are one or the other. Okay? That's it. I don't see anything in the. I have never seen anything in the middle. Ever. Unless somebody I don't know is a hermaphrodite, where they got both. And if they are, they could go fuck themselves, lucky bastards.
Well, there was something I haven't.
But you know what I'm saying? It's one or the other. I don't see the. I'm a they or them. What? How are you multiple people? They or them is multiple people.
Right.
Do you have multiple personality disorder?
It's the extreme ones that.
That's what I'm saying.
That have got us
that
that are right leaning. I'm middle ground, right leaning.
Yes. But
I don't want it shoved down my throat.
Right. But they've got everybody saying delusion. I'm saying I've got the studies here that I've been reading and getting myself caught up on even further because I'm getting ready to get back into the study of this. And it's something I'm going to have to know for my practice.
Hold and it's not for a second.
Sure. Obviously, this is a heated issue in our country right now, and it shouldn't be. Uh-oh.
Yeah, it's bong hit time.
Yeah, I'm seeing that. But no, I'm saying that. How do I word it? You know,
I've got family members in the LGBTQ community, and I have the utmost respect for them. I do. You guys do your thing. They're not shoving it down my throat. They don't expect me to use pronouns. They're not the extremists.
But you know what I'm saying is, you know, when and I'm going to use the one friend of mine that I taught with, that's in Philadelphia right now, close to hippers, which would piss him off, which would make me laugh. But you know, dude, she was taller than me. And she had bigger tits than my ex-wife. And when we went to the company Christmas party, she showed them the fuck off. And they were nice. But the point is like, you may have the chromosomes that were here. You may have been born and identified here. But if the brain structure is disagreeing, so then all this crap has to be done to align that again. And they're not being extreme about it. They're not out there flaunting it in the roads. They're not walking around with body paint on and nothing else. They're not going in and going, oh, and ramming it down your kids' throats.
And they're not.
And I disagree with it being taught in fucking high school or grade school or junior high. It should not even be addressed.
And that's where we'll agree 100%.
I mean, you know, if you're talking sex ed, it should be basic sex ed in fucking school. That's it.
That's what basic sex ed, I think they could touch on it.
But
because it is sexuality. And that's what sex ed is meant for. But you don't teach third graders sex ed.
No.
Period.
Sex ed should not even be a course until freshman year of high school. I'd say would be reasonable.
I'm a little more liberal about it. I could see it more at the beginning of puberty, instead of here we are almost middle of puberty by freshman year. I'm looking 7th, 8th grade. You know,
beginning of puberty, 7th, 8th grade, they're
13, 14 years old. really good time for them to hear you're going to be going through changes. It's good for them to hear.
My
Like you
13-year-old is more in love with his fucking Xbox than he is with dating.
His Xbox and his private time in his room.
Yeah, well, we're not going to talk about that, Sock. I don't talk to him about it.
Exactly.
He has already told me, oh, I figured it out. I'm like, yeah, as long as you're not trying to get anybody pregnant. If you are, let me know.
Exactly. It's not
But
the
we
most
have
comfortable conversation, and I feel it should
we
be
act,
more on the parents.
but he and I do actually have open conversation about that. There's not,
At least there's open dialogue.
yeah, he knows that if he's planning on going to try to, stick it in a goal, then by God, let me know so I can make sure you got something to keep it from that goal turning into a beach ball.
Right. Because I will go buy you a box of condoms.
Yeah.
It's not that big a deal.
I do not. Look, my daughter already made me grandpa. I don't need anybody else doing it.
Right. Exactly.
I am not fucking old enough to be a grandfather yet. But no, now, mind you, kind of back to where the other part of this discussion was at. Mind you, I know a few people as well that I worked with at that school that are, like you said, a part of the LGBTQ community and different aspects. And one of them, she looked me dead in the eye and she goes, no, the trans people need to be there. And I said, why? I don't understand. Everybody else, that it's orientation for them. For the trans community, it's identification. We're talking two very, very different subjects, right? She looked me dead in the eye and she goes, because if the trans community falls, everybody else is next. And I'll be fucking damned. I'll be damned. Now there are noises coming from Washington that they are seriously looking into going after gay marriage next.
Now, see, that's where I feel they'd be going too far because marriage is no longer religious. It hasn't been for many, many years. And the gays just got their rights to get the same tax benefits and shit like that as heterosexuals. I would not agree with that.
And the Trump administration is already starting to make movements to get it in front of the Supreme Court to get it overturned like they did Roe versus Wade.
But then you'll just have the states that...
Which is where you're at now.
Right.
Trump and his executive order, this is how it is, but you still have states that are like, what? You could take your executive order and shove it up your ass. You live in one.
I'm not going to sit here and agree with everything. I'm not a blind follower.
I do not. I live in a state that's like, oh yeah, we're going to keep going. And they're following this blindly down the rabbit hole. And yes, yeah,
I think gay marriage is one thing. If you're going to do away with the marriage, you need to write civil rights laws or civil union laws to where they get the same tax benefits as those that are married.
But they had the civil unions.
That was the whole
right prior to
in
gay
giving
marriage.
them that right.
Yeah,
was to give them the same tax benefits as heterosexual married couples.
Now, and I mean, if you think back to 2012, okay? We're talking the Obama-Romney presidential run. Let's go back prior to that. Let's go back to the primaries on the Republican side and Rick Santorum. Remember him?
Yes.
Yeah, him and Anthony Weiner were good buddies. Rick Santorum went on live television nationwide and said that gay people being married threatened the sanctity of his marriage and they could not be trusted to even teach.
Now,
we've made big steps between then and now. But now, and don't get me wrong, President Trump's first term, I loved. The economy got chugging again. We were watching defense come up. The wall was getting built down here where we weren't having as many problems on the southern border. There were a lot of things he did that were moving in the right direction. This term, I don't know what the fuck. I seriously don't.
You can look. I'm not going to dig for the statistics, but the border security versus the prior administration is already
better. I can tell you
already.
I live here. I don't have to look
bounds.
Like I said, I live here. I'm 2 hours away from the border. I don't have to look at statistics. I just take a ride.
No bill out there was needed. We just needed a new president that was going to enforce the current law.
Well, and think about it. We still have $5 billion sitting aside to finish the fucking wall that Trump got in his first term. So let me ask you this. Why is it so important to attack this small group of people that are American citizens and just trying to live their life, other than the extreme ones that are out there trying to ram it down everybody's throat hole?
Here's my
why
thing.
is that important, and not using the money that we have allocated to get that done?
Right. Here's my outlook on that, and you'll probably agree with me. The government has no business in social construct.
No, absolutely not.
They have no business of telling who has the right to get married. They have no business telling someone you can or can't have these elective surgeries. They have no rights at all to deal with any kind of social construct. And this is where the whole race thing comes in too.
Yes.
The government has really no business in social dilemmas. That should be left to local and state government.
Absolutely.
But
the government does have an obligation to protect its citizens.
To their right to life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness.
Bear with me. I'm looking this. I remember this as I read it. I think it was Andrew Jackson. Let's see. Okay. According to Andrew Jackson, these are the following obligations that the federal government had. Okay. Preserve the union. Ensure equal protection for all citizens. Limit the economic role of the government.
That's what got JFK killed, because he was trying.
Right. vigorously pursue westward expansion, which obviously we hit the other ocean. We did that. Now, Andrew Jackson believed in limited government, but used the power of the veto when he felt it was needed. Jackson's defense of state rights and economic issues did not extend to nullification, which he viewed as treasonous. His vigorous response to the nullification crisis demonstrated his willingness to use federal force to ensure the Union's preservation, contradicting his typical stance on states' rights. And common man democracy versus indigenous rights. He presented himself as a champion of the common man, meaning farmers and laborers, but he didn't really champion the rights of Native Americans, which is fucking wrong. So, I mean, the guy wasn't the greatest, but when you look at what his core values were, going back to that, preserve the Union, ensure equal protections, limit the government's economic role. In other words, get out of my fucking pocket. And vigorously pursue westward expansion and defense of the country.
Mm-hmm.
Damn. Right there. And Fat 420's in here. He says it right here. It's sad illegals get more money on food stamps and then they get free room and board, but somebody like him who's an American citizen's got to scrape to have enough to get ramen noodles.
Yeah, that is absolutely ridiculous.
I agree. I vigorously agree on that. I'm sorry. There is a way to become a part of this country.
Mm-hmm.
There is a path to citizenship. Follow the laws that are on the books.
We are a country of laws.
Yes. But follow the fucking laws on the books. Don't go right your own.
If your first act entering this country is breaking the law by coming into it illegally, you are a criminal.
Yes.
And you need to be fucking dealt with as such.
Let's send you back where you belong. Let's start there.
Exactly.
I'm sorry.
I'm cool with foregoing due process.
Look, I am a third generation American. Third generation. Okay.
Their due process should be prove that you're a citizen, that you have a legal right in the country. If not, you're going home.
Yeah. So like I said, I'm third generation. My great grandmother, I've been to Ellis Island. I walked in and saw her name in the book when she came in 1908. Pretty easy year for me to remember. My great-grandmother came to the United States, and the Cubs won the World Series. And that's how long my family's been. My family has just barely been here over 100 years. Barely. And I'm the third generation. The first generation Americans, the ones born here, would have been my grandpa and my great uncle Steve and my great uncle Jim. They're all deceased now. My dad's the second generation. That generation's starting to die off.
It's a simple concept. Knock on the front door and come in invited.
But my great grandmother came in and became a legal citizen by following the path to citizenship. You know what she did to raise her kids? Showed me that she could still do it when she was still alive. You know what she did? She worked as a teller at a bank during the Great Depression.
Oh boy.
Gee, I bet that was a fun job.
Oh my.
And when she took me for $20 fucking playing penny ante poker, she showed me she could still count it out. When she was 90 years old. I think I'm 4th or 5th generation on my mom's side. They came over in the mid 1800s. I don't have the book here. My uncle's got it put away, but one of these days I will get the book that shows the family tree and I'll open that thing up.
Yeah, my grandpa's the one that has that. He's still alive, so he ain't
Yeah.
gonna come off it yet.
Well, my great uncle George has been working on it for years, and I mean we're about to lose him. But this is the actual dot matrix printer paper printed out the family tree, and you know what? It's that fucking thick.
Jesus.
He was back into the old country, but it showed when each branch arrived. Now, my grandpa Jim, the one that just passed recently, he was one of 11 kids.
Holy cow.
Gee,
And
I wonder what.
I thought I came from a big ass family. I'm oldest of 6. My dad's 3rd of 6.
My dad is the 2nd of 8. My mom is the 4th of 5. My grandpa was like 4th or 5th of 11.
Jesus.
I go to the minor reunion, my mom's side of the family. Oh, buddy, let me tell you what now. That's a minimum of 180 people at that reunion. Minimum. And that's only half. We've got family in the UP of Michigan that I haven't seen since I was a kid.
That's nuts.
No, we have family all over. And we've got people of all different walks of life. And you know what? I'm like, okay, you know what? It don't affect me. You are who you are.
Yep.
The end. And I don't see. And here's the funny thing, right? If all the press and all the bullshit and all the attention was pulled off of that issue, and it's just like you get it diagnosed, you are what you are.
Yep.
We'll leave it at that. And all that happened. Mark my words. Mark my words. You might have 1 or 2 that are still out there at a time. Most everybody else would just, okay, this is my role now. And would not make a whole lot of noise at all. And it'd settle it the fuck down.
Yeah. I could go a million miles a minute when it comes to the media.
The media does not. Oh my God. What the hell ever happened to journalistic integrity? What happened?
There is none. There is none. And it's so bad that it's hard to find any media outlet that's on the middle ground.
It's not there. I mean, think back. We had Peter Jennings. We had Dan Rather. Prior to that was Edward R. Murrow. Giants. When you watched World News Tonight on ABC with Peter Jennings, did you know where he stood?
Nope.
Or did he sit there and just do the news and do it well?
That's all you could ask for.
When you watch the NBC Nightly News with Dan Rather until he got later in his career, go back to the 80s and 90s with Dan Rather. Did you know where he stood?
Not that I can remember.
Now, he brought in people from both sides of the political parties, both sides of any debate, and he'd gut both of them like a fish all over his desk. And he loved it. And he did the news well. That was it. This is what happened.
I miss the America where people didn't talk about their political views.
Absolutely.
You voted for who you voted for.
Do you know how many people have asked me who I voted for?
I could imagine.
Okay.
Yeah, have you noticed I haven't?
I was going to say, go ahead and ask me the question.
I don't care.
No, I'm serious. Go ahead and ask me the question. I'll give you the answer I give everybody else.
Who'd you vote for?
It's none of your motherfucking business.
There you go. Good answer.
Because it's not. That's my decision.
Right.
And whether I was right or wrong, win, lose, or draw, I have to live with it. I vote because it gives me the right to bitch.
Yep. Exactly.
If I don't vote, then I have no right to bitch.
I agree there wholeheartedly. If you're not voting, what are you bitching about?
Yeah, I've got an election coming up in a couple of weeks.
We don't have one until next year.
Oh, we get them every year. We've got different stuff going on every year. There's stuff that hits the ballot that we got to talk about. That's issues.
Well, yeah, you guys are a red state, so you guys get to vote on things that are being discussed in your districts.
Well, our district, our counties, our villages, our cities, Kingsland, where I live, is unincorporated. So I basically vote at county level and
that's all bypassed here. We don't see these bills ever.
We do.
We don't.
And that is one of the reasons I left Illinois. That is one of the reasons I left Illinois, because here I'm informed. And I get all of this brought to me every single year. And on the first Tuesday of November, I go vote. And my voice gets to be heard. Now, Governor Abbott's talking about trying to run for a fourth term. I think Governor Abbott's done a decent job. I think 16 years as the governor is a touch fucking much.
Mm-hmm.
The guy's done good. Thank you, Governor Abbott. It's time to find somebody else.
Yes. I would agree there. We're floating the same boat with Pritzker.
No, you're not. Because I can honestly sit here and say, I think Governor Abbott has done a good job. And it's time to find somebody else.
The fact of the good job part.
When you look at Governor Pritzker, it's, okay, he's made sure he's got a turkey leg every day, once an hour, and fucked everybody outside of Chicago.
Yes.
And now here's the part that really blows me away. And it was Chicago that put him in. Bruce Rauner was a Republican governor. He was well liked. The guy was trying to get term limits. That was what put Michael Madigan against Bruce Rauner. Rauner wanted term limits. He wanted to say, look, when it's time to say enough's enough, enough is a fucking enough.
Mm-hmm. And here we are stuck with Pritzker.
Well, blame Madigan. I hate that fucking bastard Madigan. And here's the funny part about it is Madigan made the same deal with Pritzker that he made with Blagojevich. Hey, protect me from being prosecuted. I'll make sure you get the governor's mansion. Well, Blagojevich did it, but Blagojevich got hung out to dry, right?
Yeah.
Here comes Pritzker, and Pritzker's like, oh, yeah, I'll do that. He gets the governor's mansion. Motherfucker, fuck you, and hangs out Madigan.
Yeah, he did.
I'm like, God, that is the one thing I could look at that Pritzker did. I'm like, good for you. Hang that fucking bastard out.
Right.
I understand the revenue side of legalizing recreational marijuana. I get the revenue side of it. Especially with you guys at $75 fucking an ounce. What the hell? I could get it cheaper on the streets.
It's a little bit more than that recreational.
Really?
Oh, yeah.
Fuck that.
Oh, yeah. Last time I bought recreational, it's been a couple years. They're like $65 an eighth.
Ouch.
Yeah.
God, I remember getting an eighth for $40 from the street guy.
Right.
Anyway, I look at Las Cruces, New Mexico. And I remember that city before recreational marijuana was this thriving community. And it was primarily a retirement community, but it also had New Mexico State University. Okay. So on one side, you had the college kids. On the other side, you had the retirees. And you had the working class in the middle keeping everything running. And it worked great. It was well maintained. It was beautiful. People were, most everybody had a home. I mean, it was just this amazing little spot that you never thought of. Now, I went back in 23 for the first time. And as most people know, I make frequent trips back here and there as well. I went there in 23 and I was floorboarded by how much the city had deteriorated. And I don't just blame, now don't get me wrong, I don't just blame recreational marijuana with that. I think it had a hand in it. But I also blame the fact that it is so close to the border. And Governor Michelle Lujan Grisham, in her infinite wisdom, declared Las Cruces a fucking sanctuary city.
Ah.
So you've got that toilet bowl brewing as well. And it's brewing worse than somebody that went in there and just dropped a nuclear dump.
Fucking Pritzker's got the whole state of Illinois a sanctuary state.
Yeah, I know. So here we are in Texas. We're from South Padre Island up to north of El Paso. We got all that of the border, right? And we're slamming everything we can in there to close it down. Then you get to Sunland Park. Go right over the border into New Mexico. Open. All the way to Arizona. Oh, but Arizona has a Democrat governor now.
Mm-hmm.
Who ripped the wall back down in Arizona. The wall is not meant to be a cure. The wall is designed to be a deterrent.
Right. It's like putting a fence around your yard.
Exactly. Good fences make good neighbors.
I agree.
I stand on that, you know. Now, granted, I had a couple neighbors come in today that I was really happy to see. Their breakfast, lunch, and dinner. The three does. I am gonna name. They are named now. They are breakfast, lunch, and dinner. When I kill each one of them, I will eat them accordingly. But no, that's seriously, that's where we're at. Here's the biggest problem, and this is where my essay wrapped up. The biggest problem is, and we proved it right here when we discussed the transgender issue. I conceded a little bit, but the fact is until a middle ground could be met, you've just got such an immense polarization on both sides in this country and nobody willing to give an inch.
Right.
I mean, my thing to go back and point at that issue as a great example, if it could be legally identified that it's the opposite, how hard is it to recognize it at that point? Whether you know or not, I mean, let's face it. I know some women that are biological women that are more of a man than I am. And I think one of them too. Hell, I've been saying for 2 weeks she's got a bigger Adam's apple than I do.
I do.
As somebody's been saying he was interested in her, and you're going, ugh.
Oh. That one.
Yeah, that one.
Thanks for not saying her name.
I figured I'd already made you throw up about 3 times with it today. But the fact is, somebody's going to look at that one and go, "How are you doing, sir?" And then that one's going to go, "I'm a woman." Sound like Darth Vader. But that's, if the legal documents state what they are saying, I'm not going to go and pay for a fucking chromosomal test to find out.
No.
And I've got to recognize the fact that, yeah, there are some women out there that are more of a man than I am. Hell, one of them I went to high school with. I hit a fucking 385 yard line drive, and then she turns around and cranks out a 490 yard home run. And the only thing I could say to her was, "Hey, thanks, Riggs. I appreciate it." Because she got me batted in, Now, granted, at the same time, I wasn't going to slap her on her ass. I'm afraid I would have wound up with a black eye.
Right. I just don't want it rammed down my throat.
No.
That's all I'm asking.
Other
than that,
yeah.
Be you.
There you go. And that's there. Now we found a compromise. Okay. Took us an hour and a half to get there. Got there. Here's the kicker. When you look at the state and federal governments and at their levels, they are not willing to do that.
No.
Historically, do you know when the last time was that they were?
Never.
There is a time. Would you like to know when it was?
I'm curious.
24 years ago on 9/11.
Oh, that's a different story.
Maybe. But it did one thing. It opened up the lines. It got everybody talking to each other. People crossed the aisle, and they worked together. And then the big issues that were there prior to the first tower being hit, they got taken care of over here on the side quietly, and deals were made, compromises were made, and then they were passed, and it was done. Day-to-day business was still done. But it wasn't this big issue dividing the country.
Right.
That happened, and this country was close to where it's at today. But when that happened, it brought this country back together. That tragedy pulled us all back together. And then we realized that things like the issues that we've discussed tonight are not that fucking important.
They're not. I'm so over the government even addressing it. It's not even on my personally. My radar is, like you said, the economy.
Yeah.
The border. And bringing defense and focus back to our citizens.
When I could bring up the U.S. national debt clock, which I'm going to do right now, and I look at this once in a while just to remind me of how fucked up we really are. Here we go. U.S. national debt clock, real time, New York City. What the fuck is that? I don't give a damn about. No. Don't give me new money revolution. Fuck your new money revolution. I want to see the U.S. national debt clock. Why is this thing trying to download? Ah! Motherfucker. And I can't move it one way or the other. Son of a bitch.
What do you want to know off of it?
I'm trying to bring up just see the national debt clock. But I watch it once in a while and you know, just watch it click up and up and up and up and up and up and up. There's only been one time that it's ever clicked the other direction.
Yeah, I'm looking at usdebtclock.org.
Yeah, I tried bringing that up. It gave me some fucking ad that wouldn't get the hell out of my way. And what are you seeing as the total U.S. national debt?
Wealth per citizen.
I just want the grand total.
That's what I'm looking for. Total savings per year. Aha.
It'll be a big red number.
Yep. U.S. national debt. There is an ad kind of right in the middle.
Yeah.
That I don't want to click on because I don't want to fucking start accidentally downloading some shit. But I can see the U.S. national debt is at 37 trillion.
Yeah.
37.5 trillion.
And look at how fast it's clicking up.
Oh, yeah.
The last time this country had a balanced budget was under the presidency of Andrew Jackson. Everybody threw a party in the streets, and he sat in the White House, which back then was called the Executive Mansion. And he drank whiskey, and he listened. That was his celebration. That shows you a lot about the measure of a man, you know?
Yeah.
And I know that you've got schoolwork, and pretty soon I'm gonna have to say the same shit. Like, oh shit, I got schoolwork to do. It was real nice of Mel in the chat room today to say that she'd help me with my studies, although I don't know if she's going to be any help.
You be shot. She is an educator.
Well, is she versed in the human mind?
I don't know.
Before wine.
Good question.
Actually, I think after wine, she is well versed in this guy that she's got. Congratulations to her.
She's something else.
I'm going to feel really sorry for him after she breaks him like a pony. Which I also made that comment. What's your final thoughts tonight, Smalls?
Well, it was a good chat. Final thoughts. Do you leave me out of it?
Do what?
I said.
Oh, do you and leave me out of it? Okay.
Right.
For a minute, I'm like, what the fuck? Remember, anybody who's going to be casting on Southern Fried Radio, Mel's favorite song is Wrong Hole.
No.
She will yell and yell and yell at you. No butt stuff.
That's funny.
And then today she had enough nerve to say, I don't yell at anybody. I'm like, bullshit. Every time I play something that has to do with butt stuff, you are in the chat room yelling at me, now butt stuff. And they do have a sequel to that song called Wrong Hole Again. Only that one's from the woman's point of view saying, nope, she wants it in the wrong hole again.
That's funny.
What have you been thinking about my first 30, 45 minutes of the show where I'm finding all the fucking dirty-ass, funny-ass songs?
That's the one part of the show that I catch.
Oh,
I find them funny as hell.
Has your wife walked in and went, what the fuck are you listening to?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, TJ's on. Oh, God damn it.
She's like, who's casting? TJ. Oh.
Now that explains it. I think the Haunted Dildo song is one of my favorites that I found. Did you get to hear that one today? Oh, my God. Yeah, the Haunted Dildo song is probably one of my favorite ones. I want to thank everyone for tuning in to Amigos After Dark tonight, as well as tuning in to my cast tonight, Texas Toasted Mayhem on Southern Fried Radio. You can catch me there again on Monday. Catch us here, Mayhem's Amigos, on Sunday night at 4. For Smalls and Steve and Fat 420 and Adam and Rhino and everybody involved, thanks again. We really appreciate you. Keep us going, and we'll see you next time. Good night, everybody.
Good night.
Oh.